All right. Interesting story coming out of Tampa today. It is saying now Tom Brady will be a free agent after this season. But the website JoeBucksFan.com talked to a source within the Buccaneers organization. And the source said they expect Tom Brady to be back next season in Tampa. Here's what the source said. Everybody here knows Brady is 1 year at a time. But what you see every day is a guy who acts like he wants to keep playing. This is his team, and the team loves him. He's heavily invested in many ways. It's hard to imagine he'd find a better situation with another franchise. And he's been playing great for 3 years. Now, Bruce Arians, Rob, who's been talking a lot lately, senior football consultant with the team, he said essentially the same thing, that he expects Brady to be back next season. What do you think about this situation, Rob?
I mean, it's going to take somebody to tell Brady enough is enough. I mean, I think that's just – it looks like he doesn't want to stop. You know, he just his marriage came apart, and I'm sure there was more to it than just the football.
I hope so. I hate to say it that way, but if he gave it up
right
for just his family, for football, like everything else was great. It was awesome, and he just wanted to play for – like you said, I would think there's more.
There's got to be a little bit more than that. Yeah, and that was just a tipping point. You know, in a failed marriage, speaking from experience, there's more to it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like there's layers to it, and then you get to a point where there's a breaking point, and you just can't go back. So I do believe that. I just can't believe it's like, okay, you're playing football, okay, I'm out of here. I don't think it gets to that. And they were married a while, right? They married almost 15 years or something?
They were married a long time.
That's a long time. But yeah, I don't know. At some point, you just got to look and see, you know, where the organization is going. Do you really have a chance? You know, do you need to start thinking about the future and building with another quarterback, draft one? You know, like there's just the nature of it. You could just say, yeah, we'll just keep him until he's 60 or 50 or whatever, 50 years old, and go there. But at some point, I think you got to there's a decision that has to be made, and it's not just Tom Brady's decision. It's the organization.
Well, don't you think it's just based on how well he's playing? If they think he's playing well enough for them to still win at a high level. Because I don't think anybody's going – like if he's bad, and I don't mean like – I mean, you can certainly argue he's not elite anymore. But can he play at a high enough level for you to win big? And I think right now they still feel that in Tampa. Look, Rob, when they get in the playoffs, assuming they do, he's going to be facing Jalen Hurts, Dak Prescott, Kirk Cousins, Jimmy Garoppolo, Daniel Jones, maybe. Like, you like your chances with Brady against any of those guys, and obviously it's more to it than just the quarterback. But I think that's what they're looking at. But it'd be interesting, Rob, if they fall off. I mean, they're not having a great year yet.
Right.
We'll see if they do. But if they don't make the playoffs, they might feel differently.
Right. That's true. If you don't make the playoffs, you got to take a look at it and say, where are we going with this? Is this about Tom Brady or is this about our organization? Like we're not building anything. We're like, you become the Lakers. You become, let's just do whatever because we got a player like LeBron and we need to just do whatever he needs done to stay relevant, to make it worth his while. But does that really work for you? You know what I mean? Like long term. If you win, as the Bucs did, you might say to yourself, we already won, man. We got a championship out of this and probably won't win another one. What are we really doing?
You mean if
here?
they win this year?
No. That they already
like
won.
If they get to the playoffs?
Yeah, because it's not just the NFC. It's, when you go to AFC, you got to play those other guys. I mean, you got to take a look at that and see really where do we fit in. I know everybody thinks they have a puncher's chance. Just get in the playoffs and then we'll make a run. It sounds good, but it ain't that easy.
If they make the playoffs, win or lose in the NFC, I think they'll want him back. I think, Rob, the question will be, and I don't blame him for wanting him back. I mean, he's still playing at a decent level. He still has some really good games. And as long as he does need the weapons, there's no doubt about that. So if they have the weapons, and Mike Evans and Chris Godwin are very good, he's starting to work with the tight end. Like right now, they would probably say, man, we just got to, get our offensive line a little better and our running game. And if we do that, we think Brady can still play well enough for us to win. And I think, like you said, be tough for them to beat one of those AFC teams, the Chiefs or
it just doesn't look like it, right?
But you need a strong defense. Obviously, their defense got to be a little better. It's pretty good as it is, but I think, Rob, they got to worry about other teams because I do think Brady is going to want to play next year. Don't know for sure, obviously, but at this point, Rob, and again, we assume there were other issues, and I'd be shocked if there weren't. But the family marital situation is behind him. So he's all in on football. I think he's going to want to play unless he just completely falls apart over the second half of the season or gets seriously injured, which nobody wants to see. And I think there'll be teams out there I think they'd have to worry about a team that's closer than them going after him. Like a San Francisco. You talk about weapons. You got Christian McCaffrey. You got Deebo Samuel, George Kittle at tight end, which we know Brady loves the tight end. Brandon Ayuk, a great defense. And Kyle Shanahan, Rob, is dying to win a Super Bowl.
Well, he has to. He has to kind of validate his,
right. I agree
his
with
career.
You.
He's one of those guys because he's been in those big games.
Yep.
And has yet to win one. And you gotta validate it. And the same thing, who's it? John Lynch, their GM, you know what I mean? He's been there, got the job without experience. They've made a lot of moves. What do you do with the rookie quarterback who got hurt, Chris, if you're the 49ers? There's a lot of questions.
Yeah, I don't think and obviously they gave up so much for Trey Lance. They want to see him. But if they're let's say it's kind of like last year, Rob, where maybe they lose in the NFC title game or whatever, some point in the playoffs. And Garoppolo, doesn't throw touchdowns, just, kind of manages the game. But you're looking at it man, we need somebody that can utilize these weapons at a higher level than Jimmy G. Do they go for Tom Brady? I would, assuming he still plays pretty well this year, the rest of this season.
So what happens if he doesn't and they don't make the playoffs? Say they just the season falls apart and they struggle offensively. What would you do if you're Tampa Bay, and what would you do if you're somebody else?
Well, if he looks like he can't play anymore, I'm not going to go out. I doubt I'm going to go out and sign him. But that's not the case yet. What if I'll throw this at you? I'll throw the opposite at you. What if he goes out and plays tremendously and they get to the Super Bowl and lose? Then what? What would you do?
If you were another team, if they go to the Super Bowl, they're going to bring him back if they get to the Super Bowl. I just think there's more issues with that team. I don't know. It's been a disjointed year. A lot of stuff, issues in the red zone. I don't know.
Terrible issues in the red zone.
Yeah, it's a weird situation. I don't have a feel for Tampa. When I look at their wins, I don't think they've beaten anybody really.
They beat Dallas.
They beat the Rams. They beat Dallas, and who else? They beat Seattle.
Seattle's a good win. Dallas is a good win.
Yeah.
So I look right now. He's playing well enough where if I'm the Buccaneers, I like to bring him back, assuming I have the other weapons. If I'm San Francisco, I'm looking at him. If I'm the Giants, now the Giants don't really have receivers. They had Kadarius Toney. They let him go. We'll see if he turns into something in Kansas City. But, a team that feels like it just needs a better quarterback. Doesn't have to be Patrick Mahomes level, but a better quarterback. If Brady continues to play fairly well, then I could see a team going for him for sure. And I would do it. Like I said, I think he's clearly all in now. and he's still playing at a high enough level. He's averaging 280 yards a game. Hadn't thrown as many touchdowns, but it's only thrown 2 picks too. So it's going to be interesting. But yeah, San Francisco, I think, is a team to keep an eye on. I don't know if he would go to a Tennessee. They had A.J. Brown. They obviously let him go. But, yeah, I think he could definitely